Okay, class. Good morning. So yesterday we have seen in our economics chapter one development that what are the different what is the definition of development, what are the different levels of development, the different development goals, how it is different in different people, state, country, and etc. Then we were doing the comparison between countries, how income, not only income for a person, not only income, many other things are also for example, equal treatment, health, wealth, respect, freedom, then security. All these things are for a person which he or she considers more than an income, and it depends upon from person to person deciding his development goal. Then we have seen about the countries, how we compare the countries on their income. And then we have also seen about per capita income, how the average income of a country, it's divided by the population, and then they found out the per capita income. So now here is a small example which I have written here. So we are starting the today's topic, how to find the income of a country. And the answer here is showing as we take the average income, which is the total income of the country, and it's divided by the country's population. And that average income is called as per capita income. We will take from the total income, we will take the average income of the country, and it is divided by the country's population. How? Again, I'm saying we take the average income. How? The total income of the country divided by the country's population. Again, I'm repeating. Total income of that particular country, dividing it by that particular country's population, and the answer what we get as average income is called as per capita income. Clear? I have made an example also for you. The thing you can look here. Let us take two countries. Okay, example A and B. So suppose the population of this country is 5% each. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the population, and the countries are A and B. And here you can see the income. And here we have taken the average income by taking the income, total income, and we are dividing it by the total population, and we are getting the average income. This is how we are calculating the per capita income. Okay, we will total the incomes. A country, we will total the incomes, and that total income is divided by the population. How much? 5. And we get the average. Okay, this is how we do the per capita income. Income and other criteria. And now, not only income, there are other criteria also to decide that the country is developed or developing or not. To find the developed states, besides income, other criteria are also kept in mind. So here, see, let us take the example of three states: Punjab, Kerala, and Bihar. So here the per capita income, Punjab is 26,000, Kerala is 22,800, and Bihar is 5,700. This is according to 2002-2003. So these are the per capita income of these states. Not only this, there are some other criteria also to see that whether the country is developed or not. State IMR per thousand, that is according to 2003 here. See, what is IMR? IMR means infant mortality rate. Okay, so infant mortality rate means what? Infant mortality rate is measured how? It's the death of young children under the age of 1 year. So the death toll is measured by infant mortality rate, which is the number of deaths of children under 1 year of age per 1,000 live births. Per 1,000 live births, in that the number of death of children under 1 year of age is considered as the IMR, infant mortality rate. Next, it is written as literacy rate. We will see the literacy rate also of that state and the country. That if it is 20,000 of people are there, from that how much percentage of people are getting education? How much is the literacy rate? Next is net attendance ratio, class 1 to 5. See, net attendance ratio means what? It is defined as the ratio of the number of persons in the official age group of attending any educational institution. It is after mainly after 3 years. So after 3 years of age group, the official age group, whichever educational institution they are attending, in a particular class group. So the total number of person in that age group, that means if the total number of people, children from age 3 years to 14 years, we can take. Okay. And so from 3 years to 14 years, how many children are there in that state, or how many children are there in that country? In that age group, how many of them are going for education? So that ratio is considered as net attendance ratio. So how do we normally calculate it? We divide the number of students attending a given level of education regardless of age by the population of the age group which officially corresponds to the given level of education and multiplying the result by 100. So what is the normal age we take is net attendance ratio, total number of children in the age group of 6 years to 10 years, or we can consider it as after 5 years also, 5 years to 14 years, attending school as a percentage of total number of children in the same age group. See, we know that primary education is compulsory for children. So how many of them are getting that primary education? That is also taken into consideration. See, here they have written the first one is IMR, literacy rate, and then the net attendance ratio. So 49, 70, 81, 11, 91, 91, 60, 47, 41. So this way, here it is, this is IMR, okay. This is IMR, this is literacy rate, and this is net attendance ratio. Now here, after studying the table, we can conclude that Kerala is the developed state among these three, and Bihar is least developed among them. See here, in per capita income, we have seen that Punjab was having more per capita income. Kerala was having 22,800 and Bihar was 5,700 according to the income. Now when you are looking for IMR, then literacy rate and net attendance ratio, Kerala is having less IMR, that is infant mortality rate, death rate is low here, literacy rate is high here, net attendance ratio is also high. So if we are going to income, it is Punjab, and when we are going to other criteria, it is Kerala. So we will consider both, and we will see not only income, we will see the other criteria also. So by seeing the other criteria, we understood that Kerala is the developed state among these three. So we are not only looking for income, we are also looking for other criteria as given here. Clear? Now, public activities. Money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services that you may need to live well. See, well, we say that health is wealth. Okay. So, if we are not having proper health, what is the need of that wealth in your pocket? Right? So, money in your pocket cannot buy everything. Right? So, we need many other goods and services also to live life well. For example, a pollution-free environment, unadulterated medicines, protection from infectious diseases. These are some of the main examples. Happiness, healthy life. Okay, that is also important thing in a person's life, not only money. So Kerala has low IMR, that is low infant mortality rate, because it has adequate provision of basic health and educational facilities. Facility is also high, net attendance ratio is also high because educational facility is more there. And basic health wise also, number of hospitals, good doctors, good nurses, good technology, everything is there. So our IMR is also low in Kerala. Now similarly in some states like the public distribution system functions well, and health and nutrition status of people in such states is like to be better. One way to find out if adults are undernourished is to calculate what is called body mass index. Take the weight in kg, then take the height in meters, divide the weight by the square of the height. How we do body mass index? Body mass index is actually we do it for adults who are undernourished. We calculate the body mass. How we do is we first take the weight of the person in kgs. Then we will take the height of the person in meters. Then we will divide the weight by the square of the height. Then we can understand if the person's body weight is according to his height or not. If it is not according to his height, if it is less, then that person is undernourished person. He needs more nourishment. He has to eat good nutrition food for reaching the proper weight till his height. This is how body mass index is calculated. Okay. Now, if this figure is less, see, they have given the example. So, if this figure is less than 18.5, then the person would be considered as undernourished. And if the BMI is more than 25, then a person is overweight. But this criteria is not applicable for growing children because they are growing. No? So, their height keeps on increasing, their weight also, sometimes increases, decreases, like that way happens in growing children. We are talking about an adult, right? So in adult, if the figure is less than 18.5, then that person is considered as undernourished because his body weight is not according to his height of the body. And if it is more than 25, then that person is considered as a overweight person. See, for us as a human being, undernourished is also not good. Overweight is also not good. Our body's weight should be matching with the height of our body. Matching in the sense that does not, if it is 5.5, then it should be 55 kg. That means whatever our body's weight is there, it is manageable or height is manageable by the body or not. That is known as body mass index, and that is the way how it is calculated. Now see, this is Human Development Index, HDI, Human Development Index, published by UNDP, compares countries based on the educational levels of the people, their health status, and per capita income. It would be interesting to look at certain relevant data regarding India and its neighbors from Human Development Report 2006. So this is the report. Here it is done according to the Human Development Index. The countries are here. The PCI in USD is there. Life expectancy at birth is here. Literacy rate 15 plus years. Gross enrollment ratios of 3 levels, and world HDI rank. This is how the countries are getting their rank. So this is just a criteria. This is just a table which is showing the data regarding India and its neighbor according to the Human Development Report. A small country in our neighborhood, Sri Lanka, is much ahead of India in every respect. Can you see this? The PCI in USD is more, 4,390. And the life expectancy is also more, 74. Literacy rate is 91. Gross enrollment ratio is 69. And World HDI Bank is 93. That means a small country like Sri Lanka is much ahead than any other country. So our neighboring country of Sri Lanka is much ahead than our country also. Nepal has half the per capita income of India, yet it is not far behind India in life expectancy and literacy rate. Here you can see Nepal, their life expectancy, they are very much what we say near to us also, because we are having 64, they are having 62. Then literacy rate 6150, then gross enrollment 60, and they are having 61, and our rank is more than them, that is 126, 138. Sustainability of development. Sustainability of development means what? Developing in such a manner that it is not creating a problem for the present and is not going to create a problem for the future generation. That is known as a sustainable development, a development in a proper way. Sustaining things, not destroying the resources, keeping it for the public now and for the public which is going to come in the future. That is known as sustainable development. So since the second half of the 20th century, a number of scientists have been warning that the present type and levels of development are not sustainable. For high productions, we are using HYV seeds, that is high yielding variety seeds. We are using all type of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. When we are doing so, we are not thinking that the fertility of the soil is being destroyed. We are destroying the fertility of the soil. And once the fertility of the soil is destroyed, it will take millions and trillions of years to come back. So whenever we are doing any type of development, we should see to it that the sustainability is proper. For example, because of the pollution is happening nowadays, ozone layer is getting holes in them, and because of that, the direct ultraviolet rays is coming in, and that is not good for us, not for the humans, not for plants, not for animals, nobody. So whenever we are developing, we should develop in such a way that it is sustained and it is not creating a problem for the present generation and the future generation. So here, as they are shown about renewable resources. Renewable resources like groundwater are replenished by nature. However, even these resources may be overused. Overuse of any resources is not there. As Gandhiji has said that there is resources available in this country or in this world for everyone's need, but not for anybody's greed. Whatever production we are doing, we have to do for the masses, not for the mass production. Whatever we are doing, it should be according to the resources and according to the population available. If 20,000 people are there, produce only for 20,000. No need to produce for 50,000 and then wasting the production or wasting the resources. That is what we have to do. So the development should be sustainable. Sustainability should be there in the development. Then only that development is known as a proper development. And non-renewable resources are there which cannot be replenished as they have fixed stock on earth. We do discover new resources, but over time even this will get exhausted. Renewable resources can be replenished, but then also we should not use it in more. That sometimes what happens, that if it is overused, we may be lacking for that also. And non-renewable resources which take millions of years to be formed again, so we have to be very careful while using those type of resources. If we will do that, then what will happen? Then we will be having no resources much more. Then the future generation will also say that whichever generation was there earlier, they have overused all the resources and now we don't have the proper resources for us. So that situation should not be there. We keep on discovering new resources over time, but even using it more can cause exhaustion of that resources also. So I believe that you understood the chapter of development, that how a development should be. A development goal of different people or different states or different countries may be differently. Their goals depends upon their going on criteria or their own purpose. But the development should not be destructive. And if a person or if a country or if a state is compared, it should be compared. The criteria should be according to the purpose of comparison. And if we are taking per capita income, how we calculate the per capita income? The total income of that country or that country is divided by the total population and we get the average income. That average income is known as the per capita income. And not only income is considered as for to see that whether the country is developed or not. There are many other criteria like IMR, that is infant mortality rate, literacy rate, net attendance ratio also. So not only the income, other criteria also we should be focusing. Sustainable development, whatever development we are doing, it should be in a sustainable way. The resources, whether it is renewable, non-renewable, whichever type of resources it is, it should be used accordingly. HDI is there, that is Human Development Index is there, where everything is seen. The literacy rate is seen, the life expectancy rate is seen, the IMR is seen, the net attendance ratio is seen, and body mass of a person. By seeing the weight and squaring the height of a person, we can understand if a person is undernourished or overweight. According to that, we should see we have to be in a proper development. Okay, this is the problem. We have to keep a proper diet for ourselves and do the proper development. As a thing, summing up, we can say if the human resource, if we as a human are having a proper criteria, proper development goal for us, our state and our country will also develop in that manner, in a proper manner. So as we say, manner starts from a home, same way a development starts from each person, each human. If he or she is having a proper development goal, our state, our country will also develop properly, and once we will also come under the criteria of a developed country. That's all for today. Thank you. Thank you for giving your time. Bye.